Ode to Man was written and performed by Emma Hall, and it was a modern sort of look at masculinity and the roles of men in society. Emma Hall was also the writer of We May Have to Choose, and this piece was described in an article by the Auckland Theatre blog as lacking conventional structure. So there could be some argument there that her pieces are a little bit post-dramatic, but we're going to go into more detail as to whether Ode to Man was inherently post-dramatic. So we're going to look at the conventions of post-dramatic theatre, which can deviate from conventional theatre. These conventions are, audience interaction, non-linear storylines, lacking character, unconventional theatre spaces, and intermediality. So we're going to discuss all of these conventions in detail, and I'm going to argue that this play was not inherently post-dramatic. So let's get into it. First of all, Ode to Man didn't have a linear storyline, and even Emma said at the start of the play, don't try and find any rhyme or reason to these 15 episodes that the story is told over. They're just little fragments of the story. So this is a convention of post-drama. The play also didn't really have characters. It was kind of just Emma being herself, so it would seem. In an article by Marvin Carlson, he describes drama as the text and theatre as the visual realisation of said text. So by nature, for something to be post-dramatic, it must be beyond a script. Emma's performance, however, was based very heavily around this script. It was very critical. So we kind of argue there that it's not really post-dramatic. Bit of an overview. Ode to Man was sort of talking about the harmful implications of traditional gender stereotypes. It talked about her hatred of men and their sense of entitlement, and it was also putting to death expectations that both men and women have about the opposite sex. So some things that she could have done to make the performance post-dramatic. She could have broken the fourth wall more, even though she was addressing the audience. It was more just talking at the audience. It wasn't an open conversation. It was easily replicable, and she wasn't embracing the liveness that comes with theatre. She wasn't interacting with the audience and having that, so that could have been done. It was very rehearsed, there was no stumbling, and her monologues were so long and well rehearsed that people were just applauding because it was incredible, but it wasn't you could tell that it had been very well rehearsed. The play was also set in a conventional theatre space, so that's something that post-drama tends to steer clear of. Lehman says that open forms of space make the visitors a co-actor or participant in the play. This wasn't really the case with Ode to Man. While it was a small theatre and it was an intimate setting, we couldn't have that shared energy that Lehman talks about in his book Post-Dramatic Theatre. So the audience felt a little bit distant from the actor. She also could have included intermediality. Irina Rajewski describes this as intermediality involves at least two distinct media, in some way transcends medial boundaries and is therefore located in between media. So there wasn't much of that going on. Her costumes just looked like regular clothes. There was a lot of technology used, but it wasn't really, the seams weren't being sort of made aware of to the audience. You weren't being made aware of the use of that technology. It was just sort of a tool that was there. If something had gone wrong in the use of the technical, pieces, my attention would have been drawn to that being there. But it wasn't. Everything was really well rehearsed, so it was a lack of intermediality. So although the play had, a non-linear storyline and a lack of characters, everything else was pretty conventional as far as theatre form. So I would definitely argue that it is not post-dramatic.